Well, the brothers got mad. What do you want, separate but equal? Then be proud of who you hire as a DEI guy. So, it's racist, though, to ask, even though you brag on it. You're lucky, Ryan Clark. You did it to a white dude. But to call somebody a DEI hire is racist? Get out of there with that bull. What this means is ESPN leadership told him this. I don't know about you, but I'm energized. Yeah, I'm energized. NFL season started. The Hoosiers are back winning football games by big amounts, and I want a ton of action this weekend. Can't wait to talk all about it. And hey, wait, hold on. Aren't we proud of our DEI operations, but to call somebody a DEI hire is racist? Get out of there with that bullshit. Don't at me starts right now. So back in the day, when folks were burning up cities and everybody was all excited and happy, right? It was the summer of love. And I watched my city of Indianapolis burn, and a guy that was considered Mr. Indiana, a former football player at Indiana, Chris Beatty, got murdered during it. Chris was an African-American kid that everybody liked. And he got murdered trying to help somebody. Well, during the summer of love and post-summer of love, remember, everybody made a big deal. Everybody made a big deal about, look at our DEI office. Our DEI practices are better than any. We're hiring based on DEI, and we don't care who knows about it. Remember that? Do you, huh? Do you? Do you? Do you? Well, all of a sudden now, it's racist to call somebody a DEI hire. Get out of here with that crap. People bragged about it. Companies bragged about it like it was their job. Oh, our DEI. Ohio State, I remember seeing a list of fat-ass women that had jobs at Ohio State this long, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Every company. Now, Trump and the intelligent folk in this world have decided to shut those down. But somehow, some way, even though companies promoted it, even though the media couldn't stop talking about it, it's racist to call Ryan Clark a DEI hire. It's racist to call Mina Kimes a DEI hire. Why? You should wear it like a badge. I mean, your companies wore it like a badge. I mean, I'll never forget being at Radio 1 when a bunch of fat-ass women came in there and were actually 45 minutes late for a meeting. After the previous meeting, they didn't even show up. No, don't even start. So Ryan Clark really wasn't hired as a DEI guy, but he's become a DEI hire. Mina Kimes was hired as a DEI hire. Hey, we need an Asian woman. Hey, look at her. Ryan Clark wasn't. He got hired on merit, and now, since he hasn't been fired, like who? Ashley Brewer, Sage Steele, Allison Williams, Sam Ponder, and numerous people that I know behind the scenes, they haven't been fired. He becomes a DEI hire, and I know that pisses you off. And as a DEI hire, he can get away with what he did with Peter Schrager on the set over at one of those get-up shows with Greeny. Greeny probably pissed his diaper. He did. He probably took a little pee in his man's diaper, his Depends, whatever the hell he wears. But anyway, Ryan Clark's back again. He got on Get Up with NFL host and newcomer to ESPN, Peter Schrager, and he snapped. That's the non-player in you, he said to Schrager. He did, when discussing CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown's performances. Here it is. Here is the exchange.
Wake up this morning, are you feeling, okay, you look at A.J. Brown, which is this number one wide receiver who got one target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb.
But that's the,
when was the one target?
That's the target,
but
though.
I'm saying,
when was the one target?
I'm saying you could have it both ways.
54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route.
You wake up this morning saying
got
A.J. Brown had a better day than CeeDee Lamb?
But you know what you wake up saying, though? A.J. Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course.
Right, like,
I mean,
like
yes,
that's what
I get it.
But the thing is this, though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude.
That's the non-player.
Oh, stop. CeeDee Lamb is
let me tell you why. I'm not looking
at fantasy football. Ryan, I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
As a player, I can't speak for CeeDee Lamb. I'm speaking for me.
What a bunch of bullshit. See, I feel that way many times. I don't want to listen to you tell me strategy if you haven't played or coached, but I would never say it on TV to somebody who's supposed to be my teammate. See, this is where Clark has morphed into a DEI hire. People, many, including the people that I mentioned, have been fired for much less. But he's protected. He's in the protected class, not because he's uber talented. They could get rid of Ryan Clark tomorrow and find anybody equally as talented. And I mentioned this. See, ESPN lets loose on the set these crazy, really stupid DEI hires and then has no accountability for them. None, 0, zip. So let's move it forward because what Clay said is exactly what I said at the time, the first time I saw it. Has Ryan Clark ever criticized Mina Kimes for not being a player? He's worked with her for years. Any woman at all, Stephen A., I'd at least respect the consistency of the you didn't play take, even if it's a bad one, if he used it on everybody, but he doesn't. No. See, easy to do on the white dude. Now, the problem that Clark had is that Peter Schrager is in the left cool kids club. I don't know if he was a DEI hire or not, Peter Schrager. I can have a guess, but I do know this. He is in the Mina Kimes, Dan Lebitard, cool kids, I'm a nerd club. So when you do that, particularly as a former player, the media is going to come out at you. This is an example, Clark not being fired, of him being a true DEI hire. Robert Littell of Black Sports Online called my take their racist. Bullshit. If you're going to brag and you're going to tell us of all the greatness of DEI, if you're going to brag and you're going to tell us of how strong your DEI office is, how big and how bold you are relative to DEI, then it is okay. By my standards, maybe not yours because you're being defensive of your brothers. But anyway, I will tell you, you absolutely should look at and call and ask, are they now a DEI hire? Clark was hired for his merits, of course. And he's morphed into the worst analyst on TV. He's terrible. He's awful. He's ridiculous. Kimes was hired strictly because she's an Asian woman. And it checked the box. And she's done nothing, 0, zip, to put herself as anything other than an Asian woman that a company needed on TV. And if that's racist, suck it. That's just fact. What do you want, separate but equal? I mean, I criticize Schrager many times. I've criticized white dudes. Hell, I make fun of Jeff Saturday and his backstabbing Frank Wright ass like it's my job. So just stop with all the bullshit. Then it gets even deeper with this idiot Clark, proving once again that he is a DEI hire. Remember, Sam Ponder got fired for just expressing a conservative view. Ashley Brewer, the hottest girl on TV, who somehow, someway married Frank Kaminsky. I don't know, must have daddy issues. But anyway, she, ladies and gentlemen, got fired for posting and liking conservative tweets. Of course, Sage Steele, well, she got fired for who the hell knows what. Cost them a lot of money. But anyway, Ellison Williams got shit canned for not getting a vaccine. I can give you the names of guys behind the scenes, 8 of them, that I counted yesterday that got fired for various reasons, mostly being white. So just stop with the bullshit. ESPN made a big deal about their DEI emphasis. And if you're going to make a big deal about it, well, guess what? We're going to talk about it and ask who is a DEI hire. And certainly Clark not being shit-canned after this next story points to him absolutely being a DEI hire. Now, there's a story by Mike McCarthy, who is one of the best front office sports. Ryan Clark could be on thin ice at ESPN after his second high-profile apology in 4 months. Sources said yesterday that his confrontation with Schrager spilled off air and was uncomfortable. Now, see, that's all little millennial horse shit. I mean, let's just be honest. I say it all the time. When God smacks you on your ass, he did not say, all right, life is going to be comfortable from this point on. If Schrager and Clark had a, quote, uncomfortable conversation, discussion, physical altercation, whatever, after, good, tough, it's men. No big deal. Quit whining, whichever side's whining. Shut up. Should have gone back, discussed it. But see, Clark is really stupid. I don't know Schrager. I haven't seen him enough. Clark can barely speak. Like, I don't know if this is rude. You know it is, you idiot. You know it is. So, of course, Clark now, once again, after apologizing to RG3 for saying RG3 can't possibly understand black women because he's married to a white woman, while Ryan Clark, of course, has a daughter out of wedlock with a, wait for it, white woman. Today I had an interaction with my colleague at P. Schrags, both on and off air, that I regret. I've apologized to Peter, taking accountability with ESPN leadership. What this means is ESPN leadership told him this. Hey, you're lucky you did it to a white dude. Don't ever do that to a brother. Don't ever do that to a sister. Don't ever do that to an Asian woman, or your ass will be out of here. You're lucky, Ryan Clark, you did it to a white dude. Don't overstep your bounds. You can crush the white guy all you want, but don't be doing it to the Asian girl or the brothers or the sisters. I value working with Peter and look forward to the season. My focus will remain on professionalism, which he is the worst. That's why he's a DEI hire. I don't give a damn if some guy at Black Sports Online or every brother or sister or Mina Kimes defender, white boys for Mina, get mad at me and call me racist. It's bullshit. Treat people equal. People have been, many people, most people have been fired for way less than what Clark's dumbass does damn near on a weekly basis. So then, of course, I came at him. I did. I came at him. And I came at him and said very simply, there's very stupid people at ESPN that are allowed to run loose. There's very stupid people that are allowed to run loose. One of the white guys for Kimes didn't understand the word loose as opposed to lose. But that's okay. It's white guys for Kimes. It's brothers for Clark. I get it. We all get it. All right. Here's the deal. Here's what I said. ESPN lets really dumb DEI hires loose on a set with absolutely zero accountability. Thus, you get this, the exchange between Clark. Clark has never said this to a non-playing Stephen A. Smith or fellow ridiculous DEI hire, Mina Kimes. Idiotic has become the norm, sadly. Well, the brothers got mad. Right? Even though, Robert Luttrell, or whatever your name is, you guys brag so much and demand so much, I mean so much, that we show DEI. We have powerful DEI operations. Hell, at Ohio State, African-American football player or athlete can't get below a C. And you're proud of that. That's like a source of pride. All right, fine. Then be proud of who you hire as a DEI guy. I mean, that's easy. So, of course, little Mina Kimes came at me. Little Mina Kimes, she says, well, go ahead and show Mina Kimes. So Mina, she's all mad. We're all in Mina's feelings. The taste of liberal dumbass tears is absolutely glorious, and I am here for every little bit of it. Mina Kimes said he doesn't have points talking about me. He points about me and other non-white employees constantly because the only thing that he does that garners attention as opposed to actually talking about sports. Is that right? I don't think that's right. No, I said, bullshit, Mina. I don't know if you guys have my tweet. I post about you because you lied about OutKick, victimizing you. You did. Others, like Sam Ponder, Samantha Ponder, Sage Steele, Allison Williams, Ashley Brewer, multiple people behind the scenes were fired for less. When asked for proof about the victimization, Mina, she cowered. Of course. Oh, Mina. She hid behind white guys for Mina. I post because your takes on the Colts, it's the only team I've ever paid attention to, are so bad, they must be ridiculed. They're so bad. They're so stupid. They're so ridiculous. They're so idiotic that they must be ridiculed. That's why I post about Mina Kimes right there. And I continue. I think this is one of my best work. I do. I honestly do. Posting about you gives no additional attention. It simply points out, like I do with Jeff Saturday, the backstabbing of Frank Reich, a white guy, how ridiculous you all are. We also post about you, Mina, to show the hypocrisy of ESPN's, quote, no politics mandate, and with respect to you and other DEI hires at ESPN. Endorsing Karen Bass? Hope that clears up any misconception about your perceived importance. That's the only reason we post about this idiot. I've not watched this fool. I've not seen this fool. One time, about 3 different takes on the Colts, and I just started laughing. I made fun of her. And now when she tried to say, well, OutKick victimized me. Really? Where? How? Victimized my family. No. You got to understand. These folks talk about, endorse, can't wait to have more, quote, diversity, DEI. They want more. They want more. Equality, inclusion. They want more and more and more. But don't call them a DEI hire. No, don't call. Wait a second. That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Now, if you are so proud and you use it, you use your victimization, you use your status as a woman, people coming at me. Okay, great. All right, that's fine. But what's the other side? We want to know who the DEI hires are. I mean, don't we? I think we do. So it's racist, though, to ask, even though you brag on it. You know, Robert Luttrell said, if I hear the words woke, DEI, left wing in your sports take, you aren't really talking about sports. You're trying to push a whole different narrative beyond sports. Really? No one wants to hear all that. Can you just talk ball? Here's what I said to that. If I hear only because she's white, white boy, that white boy wasted, etc. You aren't really talking about sports. You aren't really talking about sports. You're trying to push a whole different narrative beyond sports. No one wants to hear all that. Can you talk ball or not? There you go. No, it's very simple. And he said, no one's ever said white boy wasted. Bullshit. Jalen Rose did. Look it up. Honest to God. Look it up. I don't know, man. No, it's a weird world. You know, people are defending Kimes. People are defending Clark. Here's what I said. You can't just keep calling anyone who is not white a MAGA or not white or MAGA a DEI hire. Wait a second. Sure I can. With their lying, here's what I said. With their lying, constant use of victimization, and overt racism, Kimes and Clark are the poster children for DEI. They simply are. They are the poster children. With their lying and all the nonsense, they got to be. With their lying, constant use of victimization, overt racism, Kimes and Clark are the poster children for ESPN's DEI narrative. Many folks in front of the camera and behind the scenes at ESPN have been fired for much less. See Sage Ponder, Allison Williams, Ashley Brewer. What are you talking about? Yet these two get promoted. I told this guy, Robert Littal, stop with the nonsense and stop hating those that treat everyone equal. You want DEI. You want to brag about it. Let's find out who the DEI hires are. No, you guys are full of shit. You're full of shit. You've always been full of shit. And now you're getting called out on you're full of shit. And the only thing you can possibly do is say, well, that's racist. Shut up, dumbass. It ain't racist. It's just wondering. Who the hell's the DEI hire since we got all these big old offices? What a great day. Appreciate everybody. Mina Kimes. Well, you know, it's wild if you don't love what the Colts did in the offseason before last year. Really? What'd they do? They went 8-9 or 9-8. But the Colts are going to the playoffs. They're going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't give a damn what you say. And Indiana University men's basketball is winning the national championship. I am standing on the shoulders of both, and I'm going to yell, scream. And Daniel Jones, Gary, is going to be the most valuable player in the NFL. Don't at me, even a little bit. You New York guys are bitching, whining, and moaning because you didn't surround Daniel Jones with greatness. This episode is brought to you, as you all know, by our good friends at Prize Picks. Got a little bit done on Prize Picks. Did you follow me? Did you use Daniel Jones over 200 and Breece Hall over 45? If you did, you won easy. Easy. Damn. Got 3 times. 3 times. Anyway, don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. It's fun, where it's good to be right. I'm right. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. More than bet. Hey, can we start over? This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. I took more than on Breece Hall, more than on Daniel Jones, more than 200 yards passing. Oh, he had like 280. He had like 200 in the first half. More than 45 by Breece Hall. He ended up over 100. And if tonight Justin Jefferson gets more than a half a touchdown, we hit another one. Yeah. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half, doesn't return, Prize Picks will not count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Here's what you do. You just download. You download the Prize Pick app today. Use code Dakich, D-A-K-I-C-H. Get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code D-A-K-I-C-H. You get 50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Pick, run your game. And I have a max discount I want to bring to your attention. This coming Sunday, 9/14. That's right. Travis Kelce, more than 0.5 receiving yards. That's right. If Kelce gets at least a yard, you win. Hey, I don't know. Did A.J. Brown get a yard? Woo, A.J. Brown. People are mad. Oh, it was electric this weekend in college football. Yeah, I know Kennesaw State tried to come into Rock Memorial Stadium and got their ass beat. But one of the things that I really like, I like coaches' beefs and I like coaches' pettiness. Pettiness. Susie from Alabama, she ain't happy with Kalen DeBoer. And when Susie from Alabama gets pissed at Kalen DeBoer, she would buy out Caleb DeBoer if she won the Powerball. Here's Susie from Bama.
I'll tell you exactly what I'd do with the first $70 million. I'd pay off Kalen DeBoer and get him the heck out of the University of Alabama, and then I'd take whatever else it took to get rid of the AD. I'd give him my church money. I don't know how much of what I'd have, after I paid my taxes, but I'm sure I'd have plenty with this kind of deal, but I know I'm not going to win. I just hope I win some scratch-offs. I just do it for the fun.
Yeah, there you go. Pay off the coach. Give the church some cash and pay off. That's the two religions down there in the South. Go to church on Sunday and watch Alabama, Auburn, SEC football on Saturday. Of course, South Florida went. Man, this is a bad loss for Billy Napier. They went into Gainesville and upset Billy Napier's Gator, and the heat is really on. Another player gets ejected for spitting. Florida lineman Brandon Bett on the final drive of the game. He got the boot. Here's Billy Napier getting his ass booed off the field. Oh, man. Little frat boys aren't happy. The Phi Kappa Psi's, they ain't happy. And when the Phi Kappa Psi's ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Here's one. My wife got deported 2 months ago, and I'm more upset with Billy than ICE. Oh, that's just logic, right? What are you going to do? My wife got deported 2 months ago, and I'm more upset with Billy than ICE. Oh, man. Remember last week we told you about Mike Gundy? Mike Gundy, who has feasted on the Central Arkansas, the South Dakotas of the world in his non-conference schedule. The coach at Oklahoma State took issue with having to play, apparently, Oregon, saying Oregon should play somebody in its own tax bracket. Well, you know what? Mike Gundy has played guys in 1AA for his entire career. Gundy got that ass whooped. Hey, I think Oregon's still scoring on Gundy. Here's what Dan Lanning had to say after crushing Gundy.
I told our team right before the game that, it never requires extra motivation for an opportunity to go out and kick ass, but it never hurts when somebody pours gasoline on the fire. So I felt like these guys wanted the chance to go prove who they are. And I'm sure I got a lot of respect for Coach Gundy, but his press conference, he's probably saying, "See, I told you so." Right? Like that's probably what his comment is, but that doesn't change the way we have to play to be a winning football team. And we have good players, one of our best. I don't know, Bryce Betcher played good today. He came here for a backpack and a T-shirt. So I'm really proud of those guys on our team that, have developed into great players. Again, the guys that watched other people play last year are now playing for us. Like that's what makes this team great.
There you go. There you go, man. Look, you could tell he was pissed, too, because he even went deep on Gundy, talking about his press conference. Oh, chicka pesta, my eyes are burning. Dante Moore, the quarterback at Oregon, hey, he said what we all knew. We're trying to run that damn score up.
Dan referenced the comments between him and Coach Gundy this week, saying back and forth, there's a little gasoline on the fire there. As a player, what, if any of that, did that mean to you, particularly when one of the comments was both complimentary of you and then referencing that it would cost them money to keep you here? Did any of that mean anything to you coming into this?
Yeah, you attack our head coach, it's like attacking, my dad, to be honest. It's like you're attacking a family member. And I feel like as a whole team, it's kind of, it hit close to home. And we knew that every week that, it's always going to be some trash talk happening. But for him to attack Phil, him to attack Coach Lannon, or attack our team, it was kind of personal. And this whole week we just used that as fire to make sure that we push ourselves and score 69 points. And we did that. And it was a lot of fire under this game, but overall I felt like we were cool, calm, and collective. But Coach Lannon said, we're going to keep the foot on their neck and make sure we score as many points and try to break the scoreboard.
There you go. Yeah. See, I like this new era of football. I do. I think this new era of football is good. People are saying what we all know. No, you know what? We weren't trying to run up the score. It was one of those where it just got out of – no. Hell no. Not only were they trying to run up the score, they were probably at some point talking a lot of yang while they were doing it, running by Gundy going, "Nice hair. I'm a man." You know what I'm saying? Why is it every time I run – I go white man over by, I don't know. Hey, Syracuse, Coach Brown, he's bold. He's big. He's bold. They overcame an 11-point deficit in the fourth quarter and won in overtime against UConn team. Fran Brown was not having it. He was not happy with his team performance. Watch this. Following the game, he brought the Orange back on the field for a little exercise. Yeah, he did. He brought him back out. We're going to run some sprints. We're not happy. We're some gassers. That's what we got to do. I've told you this story many, many times. Coach Knight, when we lost to Ron Harper in Miami of Ohio my junior year, let us go to dinner, and then came back and practiced for 2 hours, half hour off, 2 more hours, half hour off, 2 more hours. Got to bed at 1:30 in the morning, had a next practice at 6 a.m. Yeah, I don't know whether this is going to work or not with the modern player, but you know what? Coach Brown ain't messing around. See what I did there? I like it. Good for Coach Brown, a little old school. I wonder how many guys are quit. Man, I didn't sign up for this. We won. Shut up. Man, Coach, you tripping. Shut up. Hey, you enjoying the show? I'm enjoying doing the show. How about them apples? Of course you are. Make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@don'tatme with Dan Dakich. You're going to see it right here on the screen in a second. To like, comment, and subscribe. That way you'll never, ever, ever miss any of the great action that we got. All right, I'm digging it. All right, Bill Belichick got his first win. He beat Charlotte. Okay, but that ain't it. This is more coaches gone wild. Bill Belichick, he's going to be a little petty. I ain't mad at him. I get the pettiness. Belichick, he addressed reports of North Carolina banning his old team, the New England Patriots. He's banning their scouts from coming on campus. He talked about it in the post game. Here he is. Let's go.
I'm curious, and this is away from the game, but we haven't heard from you yet on this. Obviously, reports this week of New England Patriots scouts being banned from practice. Just wanted to give you the opportunity to comment on that and provide some sort of explanation on that.
Yeah, well, no, it's clear that I'm not welcome there around their facility, so I'm welcome in ours. Very simple.
There you go, kids. Sound like a little kid asking a question. But anyway, yeah, I'm not welcome there. They're not welcome here. Hey, look, if you don't welcome me into your house, you're not welcome in my house. What? I love the pettiness. So, oh, man, I live for this stuff. I do. I think it's freaking great. Now, earlier this year, though, Robert Kraft did say, and I'm sure this is somewhat true, and I'm sure this is somewhat nonsense, BS, that kind of thing. He hopes to one day have a Belichick statue out front. All right, here's Kraft.
The number one question that comes after Tom Brady is Bill Belichick. So will there be a Bill Belichick statue out here one day as well?
It's always, when that great 20-year era ended, it was always my intention to commission a statue for both Tommy and Bill when their respective careers were over, playing and coaching. And when Bill's coaching career ends, we look forward to sitting down with him and having a statue made to be right next to Tommy.
There you go. Bill Belichick, he got a win. Get off his ass. And by the way, Tom Brady, let's get it up there now. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. You should. I mean, Tom Brady is retired. He's making, $30 million in the boot, that kind of thing. All right. Get a statue up. Belichick, he'll be out of there in a year probably, maybe 2. Start commissioning. Let's go. Let people come around, take a look. Celebrate the greatness. Hey, Keith Olbermann, I don't know, is this Rosie? Is this, I don't know, Mark Cuban? I don't know, but the Phillies KAREN strikes again. She, just like we covered with the Polish millionaire CEO at the U.S. Open this week, we have another incident involving an adult fan stealing a baseball from a kid. This is just so ridiculous. This is so asinine. Look, before we get this, it is a scrub. A baseball in the stands is historically a scrub. Now, you get the ball, you give it to a kid. I think I've caught one in my life, and I gave it to my son. I mean, what the hell? But the truth of the matter is, the guy goes in, he digs it out. It's a scrum. You give it to a kid. In this case, guy gave it to his own kid. But here's the bigger issue. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a long time ago, Danica Patrick marched down out of her car and pointed and went nuts on another driver at the fence in one of her races. And I said at the time, what a chicken shit move by Danica Patrick. What do you mean? Well, it's chicken shit because what's the guy supposed to do? And seriously, what's he supposed to do? Punch her, slap her, push her? What? No, you got to stand there and you got to take it. Watch this. Tell me what you would do if you were the dude. I don't know. Here, take a look. I'll tell you what I would do. Hey, lady, fuck off. Here's part 2.
You took it from me. From me. You took it from me. You took it from me. You took it from me.
You took it from me. Man, you white women suck. You do. Y'all suck. You white liberal women really suck. White women don't suck. White liberal women. You took it from me. Shut up. What would you do, Davey? Davey, what would you do? I'm not giving her the ball. I say, you can sit here and yell all you want, but that ball's in that kid's hand. Suck it, lady. What would you do?
I'm handling it the way it's like, hey, this kid's getting the ball. You can say whatever you want. You're not getting it back. It's as simple as that.
That's it. And the more you yell, the less I'm going to do it. That's it. The more you scream, the more you yell, the less I'm going to give you the ball. Now, turn around and go back. Or don't make me dump a beer on your freaking skunk-ass head, lady. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it, lady. Speaking of beer, speaking of weird, does this sound like fun? No, a pair of Mississippi alligator hunters, Jimmy Appleton and Blake Doherty, caught a massive 14-pound, 660-plus pound alligator. Watch this. I don't know about this one. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at the jowls on that bad boy. When they got it to Red Antler Processing in Yazoo City, the gator tipped a scale at 662 pounds and measured 14 feet and 1/4 inch, 2 inches shy of the Mississippi state record. Red Antler processed the meat, the hide is being tanned, the skull is being mounted. That's some Dylan Taylor shit right there. That's my man Dylan right there. He would have that skull mounted right above his bedroom to let every unsuspecting woman know, you got a man in this sack. Look at that thing. Look at the jaw. That thing would eat you. That thing would devour. You'd be in the middle of that stomach. Man, oh man. It about snatched me out of the boat, said Jimmy Appleton. I tried to move him off the bottom with my rod, but he wouldn't budge. He was dragging my 17-foot boat around like it was nothing. My wife is trying to find a wall big enough to hang that hide for display. Yeah, get them jowls, Jimmy. Jimmy also said the head mount will go in the house right under my TV. That way I could sit there, watch football, see that gator anytime I want, and remember what an incredible time we had. That's what it's about. You know, I caught the second largest fish on Lake Michigan back in 1990, big old steelhead, and I just threw it out yesterday. I did. It was mounted. It broke during the move. It had to go. Yeah. It reminded me of a time when, well, I was on a boat trolling. Next thing you know, I got sick, stared at the top of a lighthouse, got better, and caught a big fish after a 45-minute battle with a steelhead. Yeah. That's what men do. That's what men do. Hey, fair punishment, or does he deserve more time? Joseph Emerson, the former Alaska Airlines pilot who attempted to disable the engines of a 2023 passenger flight carrying more than 80 passengers while riding off duty in a cockpit under the influence of psychedelic mushrooms. What? He's been sentenced to 50 days in jail and 5 years probation. Hey, man, I'm going to go get some shrooms, sit in the cockpit, and try to turn the engines off and kill 80 people. 50 days should at least be 80, one for every person. Like, what are you doing? Joseph Emerson, who was restrained by the flight crew after trying to cut the engines on a Horizon Air flight carrying more than 80 people, reached a plea agreement with state and federal prosecutors to take accountability and avoid further jail time. October 2023, a flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco diverted to Portland after Emerson pulled handles in the cockpit that could have cut fuel to the engines. Plane landed safely, according to the Associated Press. Like, look, I'm not drug guy, and that's one of the reasons I'm not drug guy. Because I don't want to wake up and go, what did I do? Well, you know, you and I were hanging out, and we were taking some psychedelic mushrooms, and we got in an airplane, and you tried to kill 80 people. I did what now? Say what? Now, I like my beer, and then figuring out what the hell happened the next day about once a year, twice a year. You know, I go somewhere, have too many, and go, what the hell happened yesterday? Yeah, I don't need psychedelic mushrooms. Certainly don't need to wake up. Imagine that. You come down from that, next thing you know, you're in the can. Next thing you know, Bubba's behind you, giving you the business, and you're in there wondering what the hell's going on. And, well, you tried to kill 80 people. Should be 80 days in jail, one for each person that was on that flight. Be right back.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27th, Athens.
OutKick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
So are we going to have YouTube TV and Fox and everything? Everything's going to be fine by game day, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. Oh. At least if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, the statement that Fox put out last night was scathing, to say the least. They accused YouTube TV of, taking advantage of their sort of, power and monopoly in the marketplace and not having any sort of serious discussion. So at this point, if I'm a YouTube TV subscriber and I want to watch Texas, Ohio State, my plan is to get up early and get a seat at the bar.
Well, that's a great plan. Actually.
Meanwhile, Chad, if you want to see Auburn and Baylor, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
Yeah, as a Fox employee, I've got the free subscription to Fox One, so I can watch Auburn and Baylor on there. That's kind of a humble brag on my part, but I will be seeing that even as a YouTube TV subscriber, which is amazing for me. Not so much for the college football fan out there. Amanda, when you cover these stories in sports business and coverage of leagues that get into these disputes with providers, is it the ultimate loser just the consumer of the sport or that product? Like, we understand why these things happen with one gigantic company wanting more money out of another gigantic company. That part of it to me is kind of boring, but what the actual effect is to the fan.
It's Monday, and every show in America likes to do an overreaction to the NFL, to the college football season, because, frankly, it's fun. No, it's really fun. But I don't think this first one is an overreaction, although maybe Gary and the New York crowd will disagree. But here it is. These are the overreactions that I'm buying. One, Daniel Jones of the Colts, who beat out Anthony Richardson, will lead the Colts to the playoffs and get a contract extension in Indy. I will go even farther to say that Daniel Jones of the Colts is going to beat out, remember I said this, Trevor Lawrence of Jacksonville to win the division, get a home playoff game, and get to the AFC Championship game. And Daniel Jones will be, and I think he is right now after week one, the MVP of the league. That's right, I said it and I meant it. To quote the great Rick Venturi, 35 years defensive coordinator in the NFL. I don't even recognize this team. This team's so different and good. That's right. That's right, people. Don't at me about it either. This team is a juggernaut. This team may be the first since 1972, the Miami Dolphins, to go undefeated. That's how good they are. And those of you in New York, you know my tagline. You can suck it. You basically got rid of Daniel Jones because your organization was terrible. You like Tommy DeVito because he made pizzas and lived in his mommy's basement, but he couldn't play dead. Next thing you know, Jones comes to a real organization and, well, frankly, wins us, a little bit on Prize Picks and plays his bag off. Not hearing much this morning as I peruse the media in Indianapolis about the greatness of Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he's going to get a contract. He may not be here. It's a one-year deal, but don't at me. That dude is balling. This is Mike Gundy's final season as the head coach in Stillwater. I've often said this when I've thought about Mike Gundy, which is very rare. Why is he Teflon? I get it back in the day. I do. I get it back in the day. You had what? All right, you had T. Boone Pickens buying players, and they were pretty good. So T. Boone Pickens was a really rich oil guy, kind of the traditional oil guy. And, he was buying players for Gundy, and they were winning, and everybody was happy. But I don't even know that they won that much. I've wondered, why is Gundy, I remember him as a quarterback. He was a nice player. I remember he's been there for a long time. I mean, look. He started as the head coach in 2005. It's now 2025. Hold on, though. 2021, 12-2. 2022, 7-8. 2023, 10-4. 2024, 3-9. Now he's 1-1. I'm going to say yes, this is his last year. Shouldn't be. You get a little grace from having 2 seasons in the last 5 like that, but I think this is his last year. Shawne Moore, the Michigan football coach, is not cut out to be the head coach at Michigan. Look, anybody can be the head coach anywhere, but let me tell you what's happening here. And it goes back 25 years. When Bob Knight got fired at Indiana, now follow me here, Mike Davis, his assistant, took over. And Bob Knight, for 2 years, his influence on Indiana and its players, because they all stayed, Dane Fife, George Newton, George Leach, kid named Newton, Jared Jeffries, they all stayed. Kyle Hornsby, they all stayed. And that discipline and that structure carried over, even though, according to others after the fact, including the players, it was weakening, you could tell. But it carried over. By 2004, this deal was on the rocks. 2005, it was over. The discipline of Knight left. Mike Davis, I'm the cool kid coach. It went south. Fast forward, Harbaugh, the discipline of Harbaugh, the respect, all that kind of stuff. Even though he's the most corrupt coach, leading the most corrupt program in the history of college football, that discipline wears off. Now, this is the second year. It's starting to wear off. You saw that Underwood kid losing his mind on the sideline. They didn't seem all that competitive against what remains to be seen how good they are, Oklahoma team. Now, going into Oklahoma historically and losing isn't a bad deal. Doesn't mean you're not fit to be the coach of anywhere. However, starting to look bad. Just saying, it's Monday. It's an overreaction. The Chiefs will not win the AFC West for the first time in 10 years. Bullshit. I refuse to give in to Jim Harbaugh. The gods of karma, the gods of fate will strike down somehow, some way, the San Diego Chargers or LA Chargers and do something, I don't know what, maybe lose Herbert, don't want that on anybody, but will strike down Jim Harbaugh and his corrupt, ridiculous, lying, fraudulent reign. I believe that. Now, having said that, I think Kansas City looks so good. Kansas City needs like more pieces. The days of, hey, let's let Mahomes bail us out on everything, those are tough days. Not saying they won't still happen, not saying they're over. He's that good. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know. So I'm going to say, and this is simply out of spite, no. Kansas City will win the AFC West because I can't stomach the cheating, lying, thieving, ridiculous, full of shit hypocrite that is Jim Harbaugh. Ryan Clark will not be at ESPN in 2026. Depends. Will we have another fentanyl-ridden criminal killed by either fentanyl or a police officer? Will there be riots? Will you have to go back to and accentuate DEI stupidity? If you do, Clark will have a job. If you don't, he won't. See, what happens is eventually they just get tired of you. They do. How many times can a guy apologize? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to Peter Schrager. I'm sorry to RG3. I'm sorry to my baby mamas. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, stop it, stupid. Grow a pair, walk like a man, and learn to speak. Simple. I don't know. Stock up, stock down. Friend of the show, Danny Mullen. Man, I know this makes everybody in Tennessee happy. Nico Naga, whatever the hell his name is, I believe is the most useless guy in college football. I do. He's just useless. You know, he's like that. What was that guy's name that was at Clemson? DJ Onaguni or whatever. They're just useless. They're about themselves. They cannot be a teammate. They want to make more money, and they got a dad that's a pain in the ass. I mean, it's that simple. They're just useless. There is no redeeming quality to them other than being a human being and, probably having a heart and a soul. So here's UNLV going 30-23 against DJ Nico. They're the same person. They're legitimately the same person. So Nico, though, man, you don't understand. Nico did his thing. Oh, shut up. Oh, shut the living hell up. They were down 23-3. Everybody plays when you're getting your ass beat. 29, 41, 255, rush for... Oh, it's not his fault. Oh, shut up. He's the guy being paid all the money. He went and played for the dumbest coach. Like, I get it. We're not supposed to say, DEI hire. Screw that. There's only one reason Deshaun Foster could possibly, after hearing him at a press conference, be hired as the football coach at UCLA, and it's because he ain't white. You put a white dude with that kind of stupid, he ain't getting a job as a janitor. But that's where we're at here with UCLA. UCLA threw some money at Nico. Danny Mullen kicked their ass. You go, D-Mull. Stock up. Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes came out and balled, yo. I mean, he balled so hard. He came out from jump. He started finding Tyler Warren, which, by the way, if you listen to the show, I gave Tyler Warren over 35 yards. I think that hit in the first quarter. They were giving free money away, and I capitalized. Anyway, I digress. Danny Dimes. Gary, how you feeling, baby? Gary Schreiber's our boss, New York guy. Very bitter about Danny Dimes. Very, very bitter. I don't know if Aaron, our other boss, is, but they seem a little bitter about Danny Dimes. I don't know. I think we're going to the Super Bowl, and I think Danny Dimes is going to be the MVP, fulfilling the promise that the Giants saw when he was a sixth pick in the NFL draft. That's what I think, and you can't tell me differently based on right now. Now, 1 week from today, as I sit in this palatial estate here in Indianapolis, Indiana, we'll see whether I still feel the same way. But give me this day, would you? Just give me this day. That's all. I'm not asking for much. Just give me this day. Aaron Rodgers. Woo! Hey, I love that they did this. Thank you for this, Davey and Nick and Dylan and everybody involved in the show. Here's Aaron Rodgers extracting revenge on an entire organization. Here he is.
You spoke about the meeting with Aaron Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that, since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Yeah. That's how you feel. I mean, he's talking about the owner, the general manager. He's talking about the coaches, the assistant coaches, other players. That's a big game for Rodgers. Now, you're 41 years old. You're in the Hall of Fame. You've been an MVP, all that kind of stuff. There aren't a lot of really, truly big games like, hey, I got to be ready for this one. That was one. That was absolutely one, because one of the great things in sports, and it doesn't happen very often, is getting up on that podium to say that after that win. It does not happen very often. And when you get the opportunity, I got two words for you. Mwah! Sweeter than a Peter, as they say in the South. Hey, stock down. Honest to God, I know Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Miami Dolphins, was all the rage. All the little DEI hires loved him because he was so cool. Oh, my God, did you see him? He's so cool. He talks so different. And he had a fake, I think, being black or something to get the job. I think that's what happened. Miami folks call it the great overcorrection. Miami folks say, well, you know what? After we had what's-his-face, I don't know, man. We got to go soft. We got to go really, really soft. I mean, hey, come on. Now, we cannot have another tough guy in here. We must have soft. And so what'd they do? They went and got the anti-Brian Flores. They went and said, all right, Flores, tough guy. We got to hire a guy. We don't really want to hire a white guy. Hey, McDaniel, you got any black people? Are you like, Elizabeth Ward? Yeah. I got like 10%. Okay, you're high. You're a minority. Okay, you're in. And they went and did the overcorrection. Colts did the same thing. Polian was too tough. Gregson was too tough. They went and got Ballard. But maybe after 9 years, it's finally working. But it ain't working because the Miami Dolphins looked like ass. Tua looked horrible. The Colts with the new defense led by our favorite, Lou Amaretto. It's not really his last name, but that's what I call him. They picked him off. They hit him. They did whatever they wanted, and they beat that ass. And it wasn't only an ass beating. It was, well, the ineptness with which a little DEI hire coaching a man's game would provide. They were terrible offensively. They were terrible defensively. They had no discipline. And the little DEI hire, McDaniel, well, when you actually have to coach and not bullshit people about your nationality or get a job because of great overcorrections, because Brian Flores was a meanie, you get exposed. Oh, man, I'm not mad at it either. I'm not even a little bit mad at it. He seems like a punk. He's loved by punks. And when you're loved by punks, we must make fun of you. We are men around here. That's right. And if that offends little Mina and that offends the rest of you, you know my words, suck it. But the Miami Dolphins look truly terrible. Staying in Florida, the Florida Gators lost to South Florida. I should say stock up, because that is a monster win for USF. I mean, a monster win. But man, oh man, I got to tell you, you lose to South Florida, and you're the University of Florida? You know, it's always bothered me about Billy Napier. Billy Napier wasn't smart enough, or maybe he was too arrogant. I don't know. But he never, ever, ever quite figured out that maybe, just maybe, to be the football coach at Florida, you might want to give Urban Meyer a ring. You might want to see what he thinks relative to, I don't know, coaching at the University of Florida. Makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. I mean, I think Jim Larinaga is kind of a buffoon, a clown. But I followed him, and I know he's turned that around a little bit in the public conscious, but not really. I followed him at Bowling Green. I called him. I asked him, hey, what's going on? All right. Brian Callahan, I don't know, man. Got a bunch of penalties. Didn't really get a whole lot done. He managed only 133 yards of total offense. Didn't get any touchdowns. 4 field goals, 2 for 14 on third down. Didn't manage the clock. 13 penalties. 13 penalties for 131 yards. My God. All right. I know Cam Ward's the shit, right? But he was 12 for 28. See, everybody gets excited because Cam Ward talks really strongly and boldly. All right. 6 sacks. I don't know. Hey, it wasn't like Bo Nix was any good. Bo Nix sucked. Bo Nix, 2 interceptions, lost a fumble. Man. But guess what? There's only one thing that matters on Sunday or Monday or Thursday or whatever the hell day the NFL plays, and that's just win, baby. And that's exactly what Bo Nix and them did. Tennessee Titans, you were an undisciplined mess, and Brian Callahan, stock down to you. You know, you came in there and you invented football. Your daddy was a coach. Everybody's all excited. You're going to run this offense. But you guys look bad. I'm telling you right now, it's the Colts and the Jaguars battling it out in the worst division in football, the AFC South. Mark, don't take my word for it. Just simply take my word for it. Yeah. Hey, when we come back, we got a couple great guests. Shawne Merriman is going to join us. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I want to see what his reactions were to week 1 in the NFL. You know, the Chargers got a nice win down in Brazil. He's a Charger legend. But I want to see what he thinks about the state of the state. And, of course, Armando, say whatever you want. But Mike McDaniel, my ass. We'll be right back.
Folks, I can't believe this is real life, but here we go again. At 2:30 a.m., a federal activist judge by the name of, I kid you not, Sparkle Suknanen, halted a repatriation flight full of illegal alien unaccompanied minors from Guatemala from being returned to Guatemala at the request of the Guatemalan government to be reunited with their parents in Guatemala. Judge Sparkle cited child safety and due process in this emergency order as her reasoning for halting the flight just before takeoff. Forgive me, Sparkle, but these children, these minors, came into our country alone from Guatemala, effectively orphaned in a foreign country. And you think keeping them here in a foreign country, away from their parents in their home country, is about their welfare? First, this is another case of judicial overreach. The executive branch, meaning President Trump, has the authority to enforce immigration law. Blocking a lawful deportation at the last minute, especially one requested by the child's home country, is BS. Second, it undermines border enforcement. When courts send the message that even deportations involving coordination with foreign governments can be stopped by legal challenges, it reinforces the idea that illegal entry leads to indefinite stays, a major pull factor in illegal immigration and ultimately what the Democrats want. Third, this situation risks incentivizing more dangerous child smuggling. If minors can't be quickly and lawfully returned, families and traffickers see it as a green light to keep sending kids alone across that border. Also, who's in control of our border policy? Our elected government or unelected judges like Ms. Sparkle? Bottom line, American libs want illegal aliens to stay here. All of them. Gangbangers, the unaccompanied orphans, the traffickers, the wife beaters, all of them. Is there a single illegal alien they are in favor of deporting?
Football weekend, Shawne Merriman and I were talking off air about the Ryan Clark-Peter Schrager thing. I said this, I've been vocal sometimes, just me personally, when it comes to strategy. If you haven't coached or you haven't played, sometimes I don't listen, but I would never say that on air to somebody that's supposed to be a teammate of mine on a broadcast. I just think Clark's truthfully, I think Clark is about Clark, which makes him, in my opinion, really stupid. That's just me.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, man, because for one, Schrager, I work with him at NFL Network. We've been together at Fox. And Peter Schrager is one of the most respected guys in the business. He's very, very well respected. And not just because, he talks, but he does his research and he's been doing it a long time. He has a lot of respect. So I was shocked at RC, man, because to do that live on air, that was a low blow. I don't mind if he had him in the back and said, "Hey, look, man, you didn't play. You can't, I feel this way because you said something about this player and you don't know what it feels like." I get if he says that, but when you call him out, you just undermines everything that Peter has done over his career, and it's a low blow, man. Like you don't do that. And I know that RC apologized, and maybe he really did mean it. But at the same time, man, you can't do that in front of, first of all, in front of the camera, but second of all, in front of other people who respects him greatly, right? That's a shot at a lot of people.
It didn't enhance Ryan Clark. It made Ryan Clark look small and petty is what it did. It really did.
Yeah, but, look, we feel like that as players all the time. Sometimes you got commentators or broadcasters that get in front of the mic and they get way out of line about some of the things they say about players. And then you come back as a player, you say, you know what? You never played. You can't say that. Peter Schrager's never stepped over those boundaries. He's never stepped over those lines where he's, took a personal shot at a player where a player has to respond in a way where, oh, you didn't play. He's not that type of guy. He's never been that type of guy. So do that to Peter on air was pretty low, man. And I was shocked, and I know RC apologized, man, but that was pretty bad.
Yeah, and then it spilled over. Now there's reports it spilled over. It's just dumb. I mean, you got to have a better use of your words and your thoughts because you were just simply talking about a football thing. And look, if you want to say, when I played, here's the way I thought, or when I've talked to players, what I don't know. Hey, let me ask you a question. What from your perspective was Micah Parsons' impact yesterday in the Green Bay game?
Look, everything that we expected, right? I don't think anybody was surprised to go see Micah go out there and have a big sack. We ran the guy down from the back, or just be disruptive. Because, by the way, he made some plays where he was disruptive where he didn't make the sack, and I was watching him really the whole time he was in. But I get it and understand. So it's not like I'm siding with Jerry. I want to make it clear that I'm not siding with Jerry Jones, because Micah Parsons, and people say this all the time. I kind of hate it when they just drop it about a guy being a generational player. A generational player is a player to come in that position that can potentially change it. You may not see another one for 10 or 15 years. That's a generational player. So people come in, somebody make a big play or a big tackle or whatever it is, and they call him a generational player. He's not a generational player. Generational players change positions, and you don't see something like him for 10 or 15 years. He's that. But on the flip side, Micah has a little back issue right now. Coming into the season, game 1, that's scary. He was already ready to get out of Dallas. So both of them, no matter what happened, had to go their separate ways. I don't think there was no way for Micah to ever stay in Dallas at any point because of the friction between him and Jerry Jones in the organization. I don't think that was ever going to happen. And 3, man, let me tell you, you get a couple more first-round draft picks. I think that Jerry is thinking future. If one of those guys turn out to be a Pro Bowl caliber player, and you trade another first-round pick and you get 2 second-rounders and one of those guys turned out to be a regular player, you can make your team better in the future. So as a player, I'll be the first one to say, congrats, Micah. You got your money. You deserve it, which he did. He got his money. But for Jerry being an owner, because I got to wear both of those hats now. I'm forced to see from both sides. I'm looking at Jerry like, hey, you built a better team for the next 3 to 5 years by adding a few guys, right? And if one of those players out of those, 3 or 4 first-round picks that they got now, if 1 or 2 of those players end up being Pro Bowl players, in the long term, Jerry could win. I think that everybody's reacting right now because Micah just got on – he got on the field and got a big sack and made big plays. If Jerry turns one of those first-round picks into a Pro Bowl player, or God forbid, 2 players to a Pro Bowl caliber player, and now you got missing pieces to the puzzle in multiple positions, ultimately, long-term, Jerry could win that battle. Jerry has won that trade.
Why are people – I'm watching the other day, and I love Dak Prescott. His college coach, Dan Mullen's a friend, and, he talked about how great he was going back 20 years or however long, 10 years, whatever. Why are people always on Dak Prescott's ass, man? I watch him and Jalen Hurts play, and I'm like, those dudes are smart. They know how to move in the pocket. They're tough as hell. Why is it just a Dallas Cowboy thing that people get on Dak's ass all the time?
Yeah, it's that for sure. I mean, anything Dallas Cowboy related is going to be overly scrutinized. That's just part of being a Dallas Cowboy. The second part of that is I think they're getting on him because he's making star money. He's the money he's making, right? And I've always said this, man. I think that Dak is a good player. I don't think he's great. But when you get to that point of when you're making great money, people want you to perform great. And he has to. So that is where the scrutiny comes in, and that's why so many people are on Dak Prescott religiously, because of the money he's making. People expect someone that's making that level of money to go out and be, just blow the roof off, and he hasn't been able to do that in his career so far.
Hey, Shawne, if I'm Ravens, maybe for the first time, I'm worried about my defense. They couldn't. What they say, they couldn't stop a nosebleed last night. I guess neither could the Bills, but damn, the Ravens defense, particularly at the end, got conservative, and that was easy. That was too easy.
Yeah, you know what? They got to start looking on the street right now. To be honest, they got to look and see what guys are sitting at home with their couch. Some of those guys that were going to retire, and bring them back. They got to.
You ready? You ready to play? Let's go. Yeah. You ready?
You know what? A couple of years ago, I could have got back on the field. Not now. But I'll tell you this, man. If they don't, it'll be a bad, bad, bad decision by that front office because you have an offense who could potentially put up 30-plus points a game for you. And I'm talking about average those high numbers on offense. And if you don't have that defense, you're going to have to win in a shootout week in and week out. Now, you got away with the Bills because the Bills' run defense wasn't that great either against Derrick Henry. You may go against a top-tier defense that stop you from getting 21, 23 points and keep you on the low average, where you now have to play great defense as well. So I know you don't want to panic, after the first game too much, but you've seen enough to know that you guys got some major problems there.
Yeah, because the idea, this is always our idea at Indiana basketball. We got to beat the best teams in the country. We're setting this up to beat the best teams. So if you're the Ravens, you want, the Bills are right there, the Chiefs, that kind of thing, maybe the Chargers. You got to beat the best. Speaking of the Chargers, is this the year they unseat the Chiefs in the AFC West?
Well, it's funny because I've been saying that the entire offseason, for a lot of different reasons. One, Jim Harbaugh, his resume shows that this is when he started playing his best football, year 2, year 3, and year 4. Jim Harbaugh took that same Chargers team last year that Brandon Staley had before and took them to the playoffs. Same team. They won, 5 or 6 games. And so what do you think he's going to do now with Justin Herbert having a second year under his belt? Having a new running attack back there, getting Keenan Allen back, getting Khalil Mack back. Right? What do you think is going to happen with these guys? And it's showing. I don't know why anyone is surprised at the outcome of that game on Friday. And by the way, this is not a shot at the Chiefs at all. The Chiefs are still a very, very good team. Hopefully Xavier Worthy comes back and it's nothing too big with his shoulder. So hopefully he doesn't miss a significant amount of time. But I've been saying that the Chargers are probably going to win, more than likely going to win a division this year. I said that, been saying that all season. I think it's a little different coming from me because, I played there and people might see me as being biased, but it's two things. You got a great quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think we're all seeing that. The way he threw the ball, the way he took care of the ball, the way he made smart decisions, it shows exactly what happened in the outcome of that game. And then now they got two running backs back there that can both run the rock. You're playing great defense when you need to. You got wide receivers who can make plays. And these next 2 or 3 years is Jim Harbaugh's window to go out there and possibly get those guys a ring. So I don't know why anyone is shocked at the outcome on that game.
Hey, every athlete lives for the moment that Aaron Rodgers had yesterday, right? Team doesn't want you. You beat their ass, and you get to go talk about it in the press, right? That's every athlete's thing.
You know what I like about Aaron Rodgers, and the same thing that people hate about him is that. Right? Because we all know, everybody know that if you get fired from a job, if you get traded from a team, and, most people expect when they put a microphone or camera in your face, say, you know what, this is just another game. We don't really care that much. We want to go out here and take care of business. No, Aaron Rodgers said it like it was. And I think that he said what most people would feel inside that they wanted to say that probably wouldn't. And damn, that had to feel good, man. It's a team that moved on from you. That he flew out there to meet on a private jet who spent every bit of 12 minutes with him. And they could have told him over the phone that he wasn't welcome back there. And so, of course, he's going to have some animosity. He got every right to.
I thought it was, it's like, man, you live for, you're right. In any job, you get fired from a job, you do whatever, that moment. Hey, what's going on coming up here? You got some fights coming up. What is it? Lights Out 27 on the 20th of this month.
Lights Out Extreme Fighting 27, Long Beach, California, September 20th. Massive, massive card. Look at that lineup there. You got Tyrell Fortunes on this card. Who else? We got Ronaldo that's on this card. Devin Simmons, I think he's coming up from San Diego. Drake Flores. Man, we're stacked. In fact, 3 or 4 of these guys were in Bellator before already. So we're getting a lot of these guys come over from Bellator, who were at PFL and some other promotions. But Yeah, September 20th. If you guys are in SoCal area, you want to catch this. And I don't know if you've seen the last time we talked the quality of fighters that we're getting now. These guys are just growing, and we're Lights Out is going right now. We're super excited. Also, make sure you guys download Lights Out Sports TV as well.
Lights Out Sports TV. Hey, last thing before I let you go. If you were still playing, middle of your career, it's Monday, it's 10:15 where I'm at. How you feeling right now, back in the day? Right now, this moment on a Monday after a game, how you feeling?
Well, that Toradol is still kicking in, so I'm fine right now. It's the Tuesday. That Tuesday is the worst, man.
Is it?
Yeah, that Tuesday is horrible. Monday you actually wake up okay. It's the Tuesday where it kicks in, and then you're finally okay on Wednesday. But when you start getting past that 6, 7+ year, it start creeping into that Wednesday. So, oh yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. We'll promote the fight. It's awesome. Thanks. There he goes. Lights Out 27. In SoCal, it is 9/20. It's the 20th of this month. And you know what? I love it. It's amazing how when I was a kid, I could tell you the top 10 boxers every year. I could tell you the top 10 heavyweights. I could tell you top 10 middleweights, lightweights, whatever, light heavyweights. And you know what? Lights Out, stuff like it's just UFC. It's all just taken over, and it's fun. It is. I've been many, many times, and it is just an absolute blast. It really is. So if you get a chance, support our friend Shawne Merriman, who does an absolutely wonderful, wonderful job. Anyway, we come. No, not when. Well, yeah, let's come back. When we come back, we're going to have Armando join us coming up here at 10:20 to talk about. I don't know. I think this is an overreaction. Hey, Davey, if we ask Armando who's the worst coach in the NFL, Mike McDaniel or Brian Callahan, is that like a crazy Monday overreaction? Is it too soon to go worst coach in the NFL?
No, it's not too soon to go that route, Dan. I think simply from what I saw on Sunday, I would lean Brian Callahan because he had a chance to give his team wins, and he caused at least being contingent for the win, and he cost them. McDaniel, I just saw the entire offseason accumulate into one game where it's just like, all right, this is going to be a bad season overall for the Dolphins.
What was the biggest complaint that that Titans fans had about Callahan and the Titans?
Definitely having essentially the same amount of penalty yards as offensive yards was up there. And then the other one, Dan, I don't know how you can be an NFL coach and not know the rules of the game. There was a play where the Titans had a first down. Player caught the ball and his elbow hit in play. He thought you had to also have a foot down for that to be a catch. That is not true.
What?
Yeah, he said it in the post-game presser.
No, it's not true.
So he did not challenge it. Tennessee, I forgot how that drive ended, if it was a punt or I'm pretty sure they ended up having to punt it away. But it was miserable. It's all coming back to me now, Dan. It's all coming back. It was awful.
As you know, I've had some issues this week, including moving, so I don't have a TV. I do now, but I didn't yesterday, so I didn't have Red Zone or I didn't have the Sunday ticket, so I couldn't watch the game. But I love following all you guys in Tennessee during Titans debacles because the vitriol is there. The vitriol is all over the place. And Brian Callahan, last thing, do we in Tennessee root for Vrabel? Now, Vrabel got beat, bad loss, I think. Do we root for Tennessee?
I'm indifferent on Vrabel. It's one of those things. Like I think he was a great head coach. I don't have a problem if he's successful or not. I'm pretty indifferent. I'm not actively rooting against him like I am Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah, people are mad about that one. Tennessee, that's Lane Kiffin vengeance. All right, we'll come back. Armando will join us.
This fall, you're not just watching the biggest game in college football. You're at the game.
Bama versus Georgia.
September 27, Athens.
OutKick's giving one lucky fan and a guest the VIP treatment.
This is your shot to punch your ticket to the college football weekend of a lifetime.
Flights covered.
Hotel covered.
Game tickets, of course.
We're also hooking up 10 more fans with OutKick hats.
And everyone who enters gets a discount to the OutKick shop.
No purchase necessary.
Just hit OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
College football weekend of a lifetime. OutKick.com/sweepstakes.
Does anybody, is he going to have to stroke a check? Has anything like that happen as far as messing up anybody's houses in here?
He didn't. I did not hear any glass break. I did hear him say, please don't watch my shot. Don't look at that shot. But, he did well.
Landon, what did you think of the overall experience?
With all these live professionals and live golfers out here, their games didn't seem to impress me when I was caddying for Dan. I mean, he's easily the best golfer here at Chapman Hills. I mean, he's a great guy.
We're here with Dan's golf coach, Lee.
Yes.
How was today?
Up and down. I'm going to say up and down. I think first 9, Dan played really well. He did. And then got a little shaky towards the end there. Putting was way off. He's usually a better putter. Putting was way off. But you know what? Great day. A lot of good people. Had fun. And I have to say, as soon as I didn't have to be his caddy anymore, he may have started playing better.
I will say, the live experience, it seemed like every 3 or 4 holes there was a bar set up. Do you think once we kind of got to the bars, that played a pretty big impact as far as Dan's game?
It may have. I'm not gonna confirm that one way or the other.
We're here with the man of the hour, Dan Dakich. You just finished 18 holes. Dan, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I tell you what, it makes you feel like a big guy. You're inside the ropes. You're playing like a set-up championship course. I hit the ball good, couldn't putt, but what a great time. My wife was there, Landon was there, great pros. I mean, what a great day. Thanks to everybody at OutKick for letting me do it, get me in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. The overestimation of I got tired. I'm not going to lie, Davey. I don't know, the bars and all that. I did take a shot. Actually, I took 2 shots because my back started hurting. Here's what happens when you get old. I told my wife, I go, man, I'm getting stiff as I walk. I don't know. And I think when I went in the hot box, there was a bathroom that was in the sun, and I went in it, and I came out, and I was drenched with sweat. I'm like, oh, don't go in there, fellas. But thanks for coming out. That was a great day, and I got to lose my stomach. The stomach, it's got to go. Stomach has got to go. Too much stomach.
Nah, Dan, we had a great time. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And, following around, you had some great interviews. We're going to have some more content coming out later. I know we got an interview we're about to play, but it was a good time. Yeah, it's the way in which Lee answered that question I thought was great because I had to go away for a bit, so I didn't know if things got off the rails while Ryan and I were away while y'all were, I guess, playing. I think it was around holes 1 through 5.
Started out really well in the back, and I did shank 2. I shanked 1 on the front, and then on 8, I shanked 1 off the tee. But the beauty is we were playing a shambles, so you got to, play the best drive. But I think I needed to start drinking before the round. I think that was more important. I think, oh, man, I was telling Lee, I go, damn. And you should have seen, by the time we were done, Talking with Armando Salguero, the senior writer at ESPN, the best to do it. You can go a lot of places, but let's talk to some place that's near and dear to his heart, Miami. I don't know, man. That Miami team didn't look well coached, didn't look interested, didn't look talented, and they made, as you said, Danny Dimes look like a whole dollar bill, big boy. What's going on in Miami?
They're in trouble. They're in trouble, and we've talked all off season about how they say they're going to change the culture, and they say that they're going to be a physical team, and they say this and they say that, and ultimately it's all just a bunch of hooey talk. And it showed yesterday. Look, the thing that the Dolphins are able to hang their hat on is their offense and their finesse and their ability to get down the field and make defenses look silly. And yet it was the other way around. Lou Anarumo's defense made Tua look silly. He had 3 turnovers. Is 3 turnovers by a quarterback in the regular season opener bad? Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And, this is, understand, Dan, this is the game that they spent weeks and weeks preparing for. And obviously the Colts spent weeks and weeks preparing for. One of those two looked prepared. The other one looks like it's got to go back to the drawing board.
I had longtime defensive coordinator and radio analyst Rick Venturi text me during the game. He said, I don't even recognize this Colts team. It's so different. I mean, maybe the Colts are good. I don't know. They looked good yesterday.
Well, okay, you're not going to get me to go that far. You're not, and it's simply because of this. It's simply because of this. Look, the Dolphins, we know that their secondary is not good, right? We know that the Dolphins secondary is substandard. And then my favorite NFL name, Storm Duck, got hurt. And so they didn't have one of their top cornerbacks name after foul. It's crazy. And so they made Daniel Jones look like he's a stud. I got news for you. That was great by Daniel Jones yesterday, but he's not a stud. Okay, there will be teams that he will face in the rest of the season, 16 more games, if he lasts that long, where teams will come at him with legitimate secondaries. Teams will come at him with, legitimate game plans. And it won't be that mess that the Dolphins put on tape yesterday.
With legitimate game plans. That's a shot right there. Legitimate game plans. That's a shot right at coach of the Dolphins, right at McDaniel. That's a shot, big shot at the whole coaching staff of the Dolphins, big boy. I see what you did there. I do. I see. I do.
They're on the hot seat.
Exactly.
I mean, let's just be frank. They're on the look. The hot seat for them was going to be measured by whether they make the playoffs and then win in the playoffs, because this is a team that hasn't won a playoff game since December 30th of 2000. And so, that's a long time ago. And that's how we're measuring the hot seat for the Dolphins. Yesterday, they don't look like they're capable of, winning a regular season game. So, hot seat, instant hot seat. Take your seat, Mike McDaniel. You're right there, and there's fire coming out from that chair.
Hey, I want to get into yesterday. It was a great game, great offensive game. The Sunday night game, Ravens-Bills, was fantastic. But I don't know that either team guards anybody. Is that just the offense is so much better than the defense? The quarterback play is so much better, Armando? Or would you have real concerns, both teams defensively?
Well, I mean, we're talking about maybe the best or second best players in the NFL playing quarterback for those two teams, right? Lamar Jackson is good. He's really good. He threw 40 touchdown passes last year. I voted for him for MVP. Josh Allen is really good. He was the MVP last year, and he just put that team on his back in the fourth quarter and just stunk up on the Ravens. He put a whoop stank on the Ravens. It was like he woke up, everybody else woke up. Maybe he got pissed off that the Bills Mafia left the scene midway through the fourth quarter. That being the most ardent and enthusiastic fan base, arguably, in the NFL, and they just left because they saw it 40-25 and had no desire to be around. So they went home. And then Josh Allen put on the comeback of the century, or at least this century, because the last time the Bills overcame a 15-point deficit in the fourth quarter was 1967. So you weren't even born then.
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
5.
Yeah, I was born then too.
A lot of people in our office here, not our office, in our company, a little mad at Brian Callahan. They're saying it's a debate early between McDaniel and Callahan. Worst NFL coach. Let me go this route. Okay, coaching aside, do we put too much, like Cam Ward didn't play well, but he's a rookie in his first game. I don't know. Are expectations a little too much here for Cam Ward? I mean, where are you at with all that kind of stuff, rookie quarterback?
Well, what are our expectations? Because we know that the Titans don't exactly put a lot of talent on the field from the wide receiver room, not named Calvin Ridley, right? And you need more than that to basically make an NFL defense uncomfortable, and the Titans don't have more than that. So it's the expectation would be for this year he's got plenty of room to do it. He only threw for 62 yards yesterday.
Yeah.
And expectation is that he'll show himself to be a capable NFL quarterback, or at least show signs of it and show development week to week to week. And so that's the desire for the Titans. He's starting from a low point, that's for sure.
Yeah. Old and young, Jackson Dart, is he going to eventually be the guy this year, this soon, with the Giants? And Aaron Rodgers, I was just talking to Shawne Merriman. Aaron Rodgers had the greatest press conference that every athlete wants to have. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the boss that didn't like you. Stick it to the team that didn't want you. Armando, are we going to see Dart, and are we buying Aaron Rodgers after week 1?
Well, we're going to see Dart, but I don't think we're going to see Dart right away, and not because he doesn't deserve it. You know, after the game, Brian Daboll did not name Russell Wilson the starter for next week. So there's that. But the problem with putting Dart in there is that you're putting him in there with a substandard offensive line at this point. And so do you want to sacrifice your first round draft pick to whatever, evil that the next defense will bring against a bad offensive line and, by extension, the quarterback? Because yesterday Russell Wilson often didn't look like he had a chance. As far as Aaron Rodgers, is he the real – bro, I was at that press conference. I covered that game. Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP, and he played like it. And I would say to you that there's room for improvement, because there were some passes where he maybe led the receiver too much. He overthrew one. He underthrew another. and yet he threw 4 touchdown passes. And as he proved to the people in the offices of the New York Jets that didn't think he could do it anymore, that he can indeed do it. And it's not just the Jets that he proved it to, by the way, because tonight the Minnesota Vikings play on Monday Night Football, and their quarterback is J.J. McCarthy, who is in his second year but hasn't played an NFL game because he missed all of last year with a knee injury. So the Minnesota Vikings this offseason, when Aaron Rodgers called them and said, "I'd like to play for you," said, "No, thanks. We're going with our inexperienced that we've never seen play a game, and we think we're better off with him than with you, Aaron Rodgers." So the Minnesota Vikings better, do some magic with J.J. McCarthy because Aaron Rodgers, that shadow looms over there as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about quarterback-wise. Caleb Williams is a big topic of conversation now that he's with Ben Johnson. You mentioned J.J. McCarthy. I mean, we got a lot. Hey, last thing before I let you go. I kind of like this kind of stuff. I like that Belichick is saying scouts from the New England Patriots can't come to North Carolina because I'm not welcome there. People disparage that, but does this kind of pettiness surprise you at all? Is there any, you've covered these guys. Is this pettiness shocking at all?
I gotta say, I'm a little shocked. Yeah, because it's. I mean, I thought Belichick was bigger than that. I thought the guy that has won a bunch of Super Bowls, a bunch of rings, would be a bigger man than that. But apparently he's not. Maybe it's a. You know what I think it is? I think it's a ploy on his part to shrink the huge gulf in age between himself and Jordan Hudson. There's 49 years age difference between Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, who is 24. I think Bill Belichick is trying to shrink that gulf by acting like he's 17.
He's trying to be the younger, more immature man for her. That's what he's doing. He's dumbing it down for, the porcelain doll. Hey, but he beats Charlotte, so all's good. Appreciate you, Armando. Thanks, my friend. You're the best. He's dumbing it down. He's trying to be her age, is what he said. He's succeeding. There he goes, Armando. That was a tough day. Miami looked terrible. Tua did not look any good. They got a score late to get it, 8 points on the board. In fact, I was listening to it, and they were really hyping that, the Colts broadcast, you want a shutout. It doesn't happen very often. All right. A lot to get to. Got a lot. Hey, going to be a great week. Fantastic. Already started out. Let's go. Let's woke-a-dope it and see what the hell we got around here. Woke-a-dope me, baby. Give it to me, baby. For my next magic trick, I will make the Democrats argue against safer streets. I have something to say on this. I said this the other day. I was a scared kid. I said this on Twitter, too. My house got firebombed, a Molotov cocktail thrown against our garage started it on fire when I was a kid. Break-ins, we had bikes stolen, we had eggs thrown. Little girl, and this is probably the worst, obviously, murdered right behind our house in an empty lot next to the Wellmans. Yeah, I was a scared kid. You know what I don't hear out of any of these politicians, even a little bit? I don't hear anybody, not a mayor, not even Trump and his people, talking about protecting kids. If you know the life story of some of these basketball players, and I usually use Isaiah Thomas as an example, he had to run home, guys chasing him. Hell, even my wife in Toledo would get chased by a dude named Richard Dixon every day. Kids are scared, and I don't hear politicians even addressing it. I hear and see politicians pontificating. I hear the idiot that's the mayor in Charlotte defending a butcher. I hear the idiot mayor in Chicago defending 5 and 5 murders and 54 shootings over the weekend, and I see a bunch of white people protesting in inner cities where there are no white people affected by crime. You go to Chicago, man, where I was on the North Coast, Gold Coast, whatever it was, great. Absolutely great. That's where the white people hang out. You go to the west side, the south side, and you got a lot of crime. And to watch these idiots try to protest Trump is ridiculous, but even more so to watch people not even care about kids, not even think about kids. How scared a kid must be in bed at night. How many times have you heard about a bullet going through a window hitting a kid? And you don't want that in you. You don't want to protect kids. You don't want to bring in the National Guard to straighten out a city. It's asinine to me. Next. Asinine. For my next trick, I'll make Democrats support drug cartels. People are actually giving hell to Pete Hegseth for the bombs that were dropped, killing 11 absolute war criminals, if you want to go that route, who were transporting fentanyl, which would have killed a city. And Democrats now are defending and angry at Pete Hegseth for ordering that strike. Are you insane? So what do you actually want, Democrats? What do you want? I mean, actually, it doesn't matter because you're so far gone and so ridiculous. But you don't want safe streets and you don't want drug cartels to be smashed up. Huh. Next. Toilets around the world. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, the bidets over there. We got all kind of made in America. Japan, beautiful. California, let's just squat and dump. That's happening here in Indy, too. You know, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I walked into Emmis Worldwide Headquarters to do my radio show, and I noticed in the garage there were cameras being put up. There were a lot of workers. Cameras being put up in the parking garage, cameras being put up by the elevator, and I asked one of the guys, hey, man, what's going on? He goes, well, guy just took a crap 2 days in a row on Mr. Smolian's car. I go, what? He goes, yeah. So he wants cameras all over the place. This has become a big deal. Our society, because Biden has absolutely effed it up and Trump in his first year is trying to clean it up, that's what we do. You know, Gavin Newsom has allowed, except, of course, when Chinese nationals come in, he cleans up San Francisco, but this is California. Just squat and take a dump in the middle of the street like a farm animal. I don't know about you, but the insane asylum is looking pretty good for some of these folk. Next. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I did 3 of them, didn't I? Hey, what the hell? I can't add. Last thing. Yeah, I'm going to go back to something that I said earlier. So back when idiots, Black Lives Matter, were burning up our cities and killing people, right after companies said, hey, we need diversity, we need equity, we need inclusion, equality, whatever the hell it is. All right, so they open these major things. Universities open these offices, diversity, equality, and whatever, DEI, whatever the hell it means. You know what? All right, so they hired a bunch of people based on them. I was at ESPN at the time, and that was all the rage. We got to find black guys. We got to find Asian guys. We got to find Asian women. 67% of DEI hires are women. I don't care. But they bragged about it. Do you know how big our diversity, equality, and inclusion office is? We have the biggest in the world. We've hired more DEI hires than anybody, blah, 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 blah. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Mina Kimes and it comes to Ryan Clark, you're not allowed to say they're DEI hires? Some guy criticized me and said, what's wrong? A Chinese or a Asian woman that is a stat geek. Guy made my point. He was calling me racist. That's the only reason Mina Kimes was hired. Now, Ryan Clark was different. He was hired because of his Pro Bowl career. He was hired as a Super Bowl winner. He was hired because he had earned it. But now he's become a DEI hire. Why? Well, simple. So many people, women, white people, half black people, I don't know, have been fired at ESPN over the years for things much less than what Ryan Clark has done, much less than the lying that Mina Kimes has done, much less than the complete violation of the political policies of ESPN by endorsing Karen Bass. I don't give a damn who keeps a job. I don't give a damn who doesn't. But if you're going to sit there And you're going to tell me that you have these big offices designed solely for DEI hires, and you're going to be people like Clark and like Kimes that go out of their way to talk about race, to talk down to white people, as what's-his-face did to Peter Schrager, to lie about different organizations, and I'm going to call you out. And if you don't like it, Robert Kittel of Black Sports Online, fuck off. It's as simple as I can make it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.